Okay, hi guys. I am working on a Cardinal that you can see here. Working on feathers right now, so I already started it, obviously, and I'm just going to do a little bit of the feathers right now so that you guys can see how I'm going about it. A lot of it is repeat, so what I've already done and what I have to continue to do, at least in this area, is kind of like rinse and repeat, as we call it. There'll also be the working of the edges that will not be hard and stenciled looking. That would be something that we don't want in the end. This is clapboard, and this is Createx illustration colors and opaque white. Been using the yellow illustration color along with orange. You know, these are transparents, and I mix them together with different colors to shift and shade to get to the right reds and stuff. So the white obviously will make the transparent opaque, and I'm kind of not spraying full on. So when I do work on an area, I'll give an example right up in here. I can still erase right here. I can pull out, zoom in on this. Let me get my angle different so I can zoom in a little bit. All right, so we're gonna get that like that. Yeah, so like right in here, it's lighter, and opaque paint won't erase if you spray it, 100%. So I'm working on, I want to mix my colors, so I don't want to have just transparents. So right now, because I have this set for a light spray and not going for 100% coverage, I basically can do what you see me doing here, right there. Okay. So I'm about to work on the lower part, so I'm going to just let this camera go back to like that view. Well, not quite that view. Let's go to the middle. Yeah, right around there. Okay, so the erasing, the reason why I'm showing you a little bit of the erasing right now is because it erases on clapboard better after it's really dried, like even the next day or hours later into the day. It's made to, see, I just took that out smoothly. If I did that when this was kind of like in that initial stage where Createx has a open window where you don't have to worry about erasing, you can do it very easily. Right now, I want that dryness for the clapboard. It's probably different on, I know it's different on other papers like synthetic paper and stuff. That's what it's designed for. And it does sometimes, work for me in the sense of having to need it to be erased when it's sprayed super light. Depends, I'm working with opaque mixtures. So right now, the super light opaques are not going to work for me because I want to be able to get closer to the matching colors. So let's look at the bird for a minute, see what I've already started. Okay, sorry about the light on there. That is my lamp. Color correct lighting. Okay, so that light, that ring that you see is daylight. The bulb, actually, the lamp, which is on an arm, one of those extended arms, it is called Daylight. That's the brand, right? So right now, I'm kind of going for the lighter color. And the same thing with the second color will be, and then the third and fourth, and different darks that will come in. I want the lighter color first. So the bird's going to look a little wrong in the beginning because the lighter color's kind of a yellow orange. But I need it down there so that I can work around it. So I'm looking over here, I also have my smaller one that I use to attach to the painting so that you guys can see a general picture that's smaller while I work on a bigger area. But right now, this is what I'm working on. Okay, so right now, the painting is, this is film, Frisket film here. I can lift it up. It's not taped down or magnet, magnetized to the metal surface because I don't use magnets right now. So the clay board is usually, I fix it on there with tape, but right now it's sitting on top of a raised area that I've made so that I can move it around a bit. Okay, so let me just start spraying in here and get some of that lighter color in. Okay, it's just a kind of a golden orange, color that I'm going to need to see in different areas. Even up here, I can fire it in on top. That's the neat thing too. You can fire these colors in on top of colors that are already there. It's not going to shift anything because it's just like tinting. It's not going to create a color shift. So I need more of the orange in this area. And I'm going to just kind of put it in right in this area, just even though it's only in certain areas where I'll see it. And that's because I will be spraying the reddish color right over it, kind of bringing it about so that, you can kind of put the light to dark. So the lighter color is this color, and over here it gets very into the brown world, and the edging and the way the feathers are creating shadows. That does not have the yellow in it in that area. So I'll just come up in here like that. I'm going to spray a little yellow onto the beak right in the center because it's there. And I'll bring the small picture over. So the highlight's there, okay, but there's a yellow that is right in here. I might have to go to transparent yellow later, but this is too dark. Yeah, I'm going to have to spray. I'm going to have to race out here a little. I'm going to have to get a more kind of a little yellow with no orange in it, maybe some, opposite color to dull it a little. And then I'll, pick out the highlights again. So my white is the white of the board. Again, it's ampersand clay board. All right, so let's get, just looking it over, seeing where I want some of this color. Up there a little bit. Again, up into the top, waiting for the red. I gotta work the edges to make them go away. That's a whole nother video in itself, which would be to make it not look like a stencil. All right, so where else do I have this yellow? I have it down here a little bit under this area, right where a shadow cuts in. So if you look real close, you'll see a shadow cutting in here. And this has to be waiting, this has to be right here. That will get worked on kind of in that area. And I can, if I miss an area, I can always come back in and put in more yellow by erasing out some of the reddish colors and stuff that maybe I miss or something, So it's pretty strong here, so I'm going to just give it a little more of a hit like that. All right. So, obviously, even the beak right here is going to be more red. So this is all in the early stages. I'm just working to get to a place where I can put the reds on top and have things start to happen. So at this point, let's see, we've got, just going to focus on this area right now. So let's zoom in a little bit, right? Too much. Right there. Just in this area a little bit. All right, so obviously to do the next stage, I would need some kind of a red that I have a color mixed up. It doesn't mean it's the right color. I didn't test it in the sense of matching it dead on because I've been happy painting this kind of the old way I would with transparents. I know I'm using opaques, but I've been very happy just kind of shooting from the hip and mixing on the board with pre-mixed colors, but not colors that are so exact that, you know, they're dead on. This is, there's more freedom with nature than, say, with a portrait, okay? So I'm trying to just get that out of the color cup. I'm using my Micron CMSB side bottle, and basically, you know, I'm a right-handed guy, so I like the cup on this side. Yet when I use the t-shirt guns, if I use a little small cup like this, and I'm not doing a big area with the bottle, I will put my side cup onto the gun. That's for the Eclipse gun. I will put this on this side of the Eclipse gun and force it up in there. I don't know why, I just got used to tucking it in there like that. And that's for t-shirts and stuff and for small amounts of paint. But this one, because it's set up where you could switch it over to the left or the right, I just like it on the outside, and, you know, that's the nice setup right there. Okay, so let's get a little bit of this. I'm going to put a little bit of 4012 reducer into my color that I already have. And you got to be careful with using white and red. Obviously, you could go pink very easily. You can control it with oranges and other browns and things like that, I guess. When I say I guess, it's like as you go, you start to see with your own eyes. Now this red sprayed, let me get a piece of copy paper. This red sprayed out. Some, you know, colors will change when they hit other colors. That's another thing I'm taking into consideration. So this red is like, you know, that's what it looks like, orangey, vermilion, you know, almost like bright. I didn't put a lot of opposite in it, which would darken it, such as, say, moss green for the red, or if I was focusing on the orange, then it's blue. You know, use your color wheel and just remember that. So let's just see what happens here with this red up in here by the dark area. Okay, I'm looking at it. I'm seeing if I'm happy with it. And now I'm going to just mist in right here, just right in a small area right there, some of this red, because it's patchy. You know, it's going to go kind of like over here, and it's going to go up in here like that. But I can still see the lines that I drew. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to kind of turn this a little more for you. There we go. And I guess I could go in a smidge. It's hard with the cell phone. Okay. All right, that's good. So I'm not worried about the top or anything. I'm concerned about this area. So this red will get stronger. And a matter of fact, before I go any further, being that I work as I go as far as feathers and stuff like that, you know, this is about putting in the feathers, this video, but in the same time, I'm getting ahead of myself on some of these. I can make the feathers white right here. Just that's my drawing now. The pencil's gone. Opaques will cover. They will cover your pencil line, but at the same time, by having this area here kind of drawn out with the eraser, the pencil lines are gone, and I can kind of just remove this paint, which the window of time now is in my favor because I'm not getting the real soft look that I like later when the paint dries. You'd have to use Clayboard to understand some of what I'm saying, but it does behave different on different surfaces. So, all right, I'm gonna spray in very lightly right here that reddish color, and right here I'm gonna get darker, coming off his dark black bib or whatever you want to call that. Over here, darker, and just along the edge, I'm gonna fire in some brighter red right up in here. So we've got that, and now I'll just focus on this area where I could take, there's a number of ways I can do it. I have stencils that are already, this is from Drew Blair, okay, and this stencil is the eye stencil. But just because it's a stencil made specifically for making eyes, we can make anything if we need to borrow some of the little shapes, which would be maybe that straight one or the curved one right there. So I could come down into here and I could look and see if my feather is, let me just get one on here. Okay, so we've got, actually I'm going to use the French curve. The reason why is I can go on each side of the shape. Okay, so I can go like this, and I can spray very carefully. Right in there. All right, got a little flooded. Let me put a little more red in there. There we go. And here, again, I don't care if the black gets hit, because it will be painted black again very easily, because I still have to do the eye. This eye is, that's just grease pencil, the Stabilo pencil. That just marked an area where the eye kind of is, because everything's black, and then the eye has a little nice bit of flesh around it that creates that, you know, what it sits in the socket, and then it has its highlight with some blue coming off of it. That will really make it look nice later. All right, so right now, I'm trying to think of the photographer's name. I had it written down here. It was a free website. I know his last name was Cotten, C-O-T-T, I think it's E-N. Might even be Junior. I should be more prepared. I had this. I'll put it in the description. You know, I'll type in his name, give him credit, because it was like I said, it was a free website that you could take these wonderful images and work on them, you know, and just use them. And so that's what I did. A little more red up here. And with that kind of, because like I said, if it's too bright, like that one's a bit bright, I can just go in and start knocking it away a little bit. Here is too red. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on spraying a little bit more of this red right here, very lightly, much lighter than that. And let's see, tinting some of the golden color, just a little bit. Leaving it where you can still see it, like there. And then from there, I will have to make up a little bit of a browner red. I'm just going to look at that closer. Or a red that has more, I'm going to put the opposite in. So I'm using a paintbrush on the side, okay? So I have my red in the color cup, which is a solo cup that you can get for shrimp cocktail and stuff like that. They come with the lids. You know, well, they don't come with the lids, but you can buy a lid, snap on, and then you're in good shape. But I'll take a little bit of this now on a paintbrush, a little bit of the green, and I'll stir it in there. And I'm trying to darken that. I might even go to I'm focusing on the opposite of red. So just need it to be a little darker version, but I still want color. I don't want brown. I'm going to do one more hit, and if I go too far, I'll spray it lighter. Okay. I don't have to go crazy cleaning it right now because, you know, it's going from it's in the red family. It's just now I'm going to be spraying this out into the cleaning station by Awada, which is wonderful. Keeps a lot of overspray away from you. just by pouring it into the jar, squirting into the jar. Okay, I'm putting a little water in the gun, and I'm trying to get past that. Okay, we're about 20 minutes in, so I want to make this not a real long video, but I want to show at least a couple of little feathers if I have the right color here, hopefully. We'll see. We shall see. I'm just going to go over here and I'm going to kind of spray off of the edge. I do have to be careful with the holes that are in this stencil because it has a bunch of other textures you can use right here. So if you're spraying on the edge and you go a little too far, you're in trouble because those freckles, or whatever you want to call them, they'll show up. You know what I mean? They'll show up right on your picture because you'll overspray into them. So let's see if I can get this to be... All I have to do is show you one or two, and you're going to have the idea of what I'm doing. I'm not going to work on that area. I don't like that color. I'm going to take that out later, knock it back, because I got too... I didn't get the right color right there. Again, I'm mixing on the fly. I'm just kind of... All right, so let's see. We're going to go on this one. Way too much hair. Mac valve, turn it down. And spray on this side. I'm keeping it color. If you can see that, it's little. Let me go out a little more. Or I should say over. I'll bring this over. There we go. So you can see it already happened. And then I want to just find that same shape and just kind of beef it up a little more. Spray on the stencil and do that. Okay, so that's creating one feather. It takes time. So as you work, like right here, there might be a little bit more. I'm going to just go off the edge here. A little darker. Tip dry. I know I didn't. There's one right there. So when you get into a cluster where you're going to start seeing, let's see, down here, you're going to start seeing some shadows underneath. So I'll just kind of bring this up and over right there. It's losing some of its holding power there. Let's see. All right, so as we get to this small area, I got to kind of push that out and this over. There we go. There we go. So we've got, like, at the bottom, it starts coming up. Okay, so I know I've got some of those guys to be careful of, but I'll try to just spray carefully. How many times have I done that and messed up, right? Okay, so let's just do this. No, that's too close. More tape, guys. Okay, they're protected now. Okay, I need basically this part of the shield. You know, you can use a piece of paper. You can use all kinds of things to create what you're looking for. Okay, so let's see. We've got... I'm trying to find my way here as far as I see a squared off area, and I do believe it's right here. I can't quite see the picture anymore, but let me just study this for a minute. All right, so what I'll do is I'll just go back to the original one now that I have the tape on it, and I'll just hit in with a pump stroke a little bit of darkness right there. It doesn't look like much in the beginning, but it takes, you know, so I believe right under here is a darker area that actually starts to square off right here. So the square off would be kind of like a shape, like straighter right there. Get this going, push that up. So it's kind of squared off right there a little bit, as as you look. You see it right there. But the feathers take a long time to make. That's just the way it is. You know, they just do. If I spray this on the way to the board, I might not get the color I want. So up here, these aren't really feathery feathers like individuals. So up here, we're going to come in and I'm going to let you see the picture. Right here, I'm working. So this is going to be real dark, right to the right. I'll bring that over a little more. Okay. And then this part, let me lean this out a little. Okay. That's going to be dark. I could put some color in there, but right under it, right in here, it's not going to be a brown. It's going to be actually tip dry here. Real bad tip dry. It's going to have like a darker red here, and then it will go into the brown. And then there'll be like maybe some freehand. You get in here and you can kind of just quickly do some marks. You know, you're just trying to show different areas that are different little reds and yellows, I guess. Okay, so that's kind of freehand feathering it. And yeah, I'm going to be erasing out stuff to help it along. And here I can kind of just bring this color over right in this area, right here. There we go. And then up in here, I'm going to kind of just far away, just kind of spray in right in this area. So you could start to see, I'm going to pull it away now, the long distance view. You can start to see that this starts to become a cardinal because of putting down lights to darks. And then there'll be some, like I said, right here with the soft Tombow, not the aggressive eraser, but the Tombow. Let me just try it. I can start taking out very easily, especially at this stage, the overspray of the top color and get even some feathers as I pull off some paint because it's in that window. So let's zoom in on that. There we go. I just did that. And we're going to pull this picture over a little more. And where else can I do that? I can do that right over here. And make sure your Tombow is out far enough so the metal doesn't get it. And then something like that. So whenever you go in, I'll just practice in an area just to show you a few feathers that are freehand. I'll use the aggressive eraser for here. Okay, because I'm going to just be very easy with it. So you're just going to pull in like this, in between shapes, go like that. And if you go too hard, which I don't care about this area because I want to adjust it, let's go back up here. And it's making individual lines. Then I could take the original color, and this will be the last stage of this demo for this part. Then I'm going to, spray lightly that orangey yellow color back in. It's not going to be a problem because I'm going to mist it on. So it's kind of like back and forth, back and forth. So this is the more golden color that I'm going to put right back in there. There we go. That looks pretty. And you could say, well, why don't you just spray that on top of it later? It's because I'm trying to create, I'm trying to find my different feathers that are in here that I got to go back and forth in order to, now I'm misting over that. I'm treating this like a transparent. Okay, so let's zoom out. There we go. And let's put this over to this edge a little more. So now you can see kind of where I'm going to get the bird to slowly come together as you see the original. Okay. let's see. I am looking for the small picture, which I must have moved, but it doesn't matter. It's the same picture, just tinier. Okay, so that's basically what I'm going to be doing. I see a very bright one right here, so I'm going to just kind of cut above here and just kind of take out an area like that. I could sharpen this with the whittle it a little bit with the knife, and you get dagger strokes by pulling, just like you would do with a pencil. This is going to be whiter in here, so I can kind of scuff this out of there like that. And you can see the feathers starting to appear, you know, as we go. Real quick, short strokes like that. And there's the rough edge. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this video. It's a little longer than I wanted to go. But again, this film here is to protect the background. But what happens is when you get an edge, you have a stencil cutout. So I have to make sure that what I'm trying to do, like right here, I'll bring this closer, that this originally, of course, it's now got red on it, but this originally was very cut out looking. And then I started to just pull away the film that was the initial protector and go in and start bringing the black down onto the red, and then vice versa, bringing the red and kind of making these things lose their edges. Still got to do it there on the outer part of the beak. That would be the background color coming up to it, which is kind of hard because you got a little brown here, but you got a little blue, which is the sky and the tree line. That's the background. So if you're interested in seeing the background painted, or you want to see how I did the beak, you already saw how I treated this, so that's already rinse and repeat, right? Go over to my Facebook page, and I do Tuesday night Facebook lives. I'm gonna probably be trying to switch over to doing all lives on YouTube, because Facebook is getting quirky with its the electronics, the behavior. People can't comment. It's just, I don't know. I'm not doing it yet, but I'm learning how to make notifications so that you guys can know, oh, Bill is going live on, say, an afternoon or something around 1 o'clock to, say, 3 on, let's just say, Wednesday. All right. I forgot to get that all in order. But in the meantime, if you go to Bill Snegon, Snegon, just like the name of my page, Imagine Airbrush School by Bill Snegon. You can go to my personal page. You don't have to friend me. You can follow me, or you could just, if you want to get notifications, whatever. And then from there, you can watch some Tuesday night 7 to 9 live feeds that are on Facebook right now. So I'll be doing a little bit more of the bird on there. And then I promise to bring this back and do sections of the bird. And then we got the interesting fence down here, which is not quite this color. Let me show you real quick. It's not quite going to be that whitish. I need to look at my original photograph. It's a little more of an old brown fence, and it's got, it's getting old. The fence is very old. So I'll be making all that texture and stuff. And so if I do like a section on YouTube, this is just repeat, right? So you'll see how I made the fence, and I'm going to go back and forth. One more thing, the leg, his talons and the leg here is flesh tone, as you can see, and it's shadowed with reflective colors radiating off of the bird onto the inside of the leg. So you got all kinds of things happening, okay? Reds that are much darker down here. I have to use browns and red and different things. And then you've got the frisket, which I'll put back up. That's this. And I'll be cutting out individual lines and spraying to create those nice sharp feathers. All right, thanks for looking. And as always, God bless you guys. Be safe, and I'll see you on the next video. Okay, and let's pull this out a little bit. There we go. Somewhere right around there. And yeah, so thanks for looking. Take care.